So this video is to help those of you who will not be starting with us, but will be starting in their first observation. So there's two things I would like you to print out. One is this classroom observation collection checklist form, and the other will be the observational schedule. So that way you'll know how to move from room to room. And then when you're finished with your last observation, please meet back in PD South. And that's where we'll all congregate at the end. So I'm going to click back to explain the flow of this observational collection form. Though I want to have you keep in your mind that how is your tomorrow going to be different based upon what you saw and observed today. So always keep that in your head. So looking at this chart, at the very top is going to help you focus in. So my personal focus for this observation is ... So some of you maybe, I'm just going to pick classroom discussions. Let's say that's what I'm looking for. So that's why I would write at the top, so that way it's always going to be my focus. So as I enter the classroom, some things to remember. You're entering into the classroom as a scientist or just an observer. So you've got some teachers doing things, some students doing things, and if you would just stay out of the way, but also not engage in conversation unless prompted by the teacher. So this is just a time for you to collect information, always looking back at your focus points. If we look down under the observe chunk, we have some little stems there to focus your thinking. Because even though I'm looking at classroom discussions, there's things that are going to be happening that the teacher's doing that I'm going to notice and think, that's really cool, and want to write it down. And the same thing with student noticings. So how are the students grouped? Is there some sort of expectations that are spoken or unspoken that I'm noticing? So those are some observational pieces I can take a look at. So once I leave the classroom, then there's the reflection piece. So there's a small little chunk there to help focus your thinking, to help refine some of what you potentially saw. Then the power comes into the transfer. So after today, what's something I'm going to want to work on? And really we're looking at that tomorrow. How is this going to help our tomorrow? How is this going to solve some of the issues that we have self-selected? There's room on the back, so feel free to jot some notes on the back. So once the observation is complete, we have the reflection and the transfer sections at the bottom of the form. Those should be filled out, potentially could be filled out once you leave the classroom. Now some of you are going to have to leave one classroom and then jump in your car and go to another building. But we've tried to pad the time enough that there's a little bit of time to, say, sit down in the hallway if you can find a table, the library, just somewhere where you can just jot some additional notes down to really look at those, some of the things that I've noticed and some questions I may still have, and then be able to boil all that down into that transfer piece. And that is the whole purpose of the observational walkthroughs, is to look at how can I transfer some of the things that I've seen today into real actionable pieces that I can do tomorrow. When we're complete, I think I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to meet all back in PD South at the very end of all the observations, with the intended focuses. How can we help you, and what are the pieces that are still a little bit fuzzy that we can help bring into focus? So we'll see you tomorrow.